Hello, Comfort. I'm Mojo. Good to have you join us on the news at 10. And we're live in Abuja on Nta News24. Let's bring you the headlines. President Tinubu approves deployment of electric vehicles in northeast Nigeria.
As part of the arrangement is for us to establish a very comprehensive composite charging facilities for all our e-vehicles or e-tricycle.
Nigeria Police Trust Fund signs memorandum of understanding to convert police vehicles to CNG. "16 people dead, scores missing following boat mishap in Niger State." We begin with the granting of an express approval to the Northeast Development Commission (NEDC) for the deployment of electric vehicles in its catchment state by President Bola Tinubu. The NEDC, along with its Chinese partners, presented samples of the electric vehicles for exhibition at the State House. President Tinubu, alongside Vice President Kashim Shettima, inspected the vehicles, including a 40-passenger capacity bus, saloon cars, and 8-passenger capacity tricycles. The president expressed satisfaction, following which he approved that the commission should go ahead and deploy the e-mobility in the northeast region of the country. The Chief Executive Officer of the Commission, Mohammed Al-Khali, briefed State House correspondents on this development and explained that the Commission would, in the next 2 years, produce more than 10,000 e-vehicles under this initiative. I said the Commission has also obtained presidential approval to build 5 and 10 kVA modular solar power units in each of the 6 states within its jurisdiction as alternative sources of recharging the vehicles.
Talk about gas-powered CNG. The gas has to come from somewhere because we don't have gas in the north for now. But e-vehicle, what you need is the power to power all e-facilities. As part of the arrangement is for us to establish a very comprehensive composite charging facilities for all our e-vehicles or e-tricycle. This is already a part of the work plan which we are trying to do.
State House correspondent Musba Wahab reports that the Chief Executive Officer added that state governors within the sub-region have equally agreed to provide suitable locations for construction of the modular solar units. And of course, President Bola Tinubu is deeply aware of the hardships facing Nigerians, particularly the rising transportation costs, and he has made it clear that while we must confront these challenges head-on, we must also seek out innovative solutions that will ease the burden on the common man and ensure long-term sustainability. These were the views of the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Police Trust Fund, Mohammed Saidu, at the signing of Memorandum of Understanding with the Presidential Initiative on CNG for the conversion of Nigerian Police Force vehicles.
With PCNG support, we will train and equip a select group of police mechanics with the technical expertise required to convert police vehicles from traditional fuels to CNG. This training will enable them to handle conversions maintain CNG vehicles, and provide ongoing support.
We believe that the use of CNG will not only significantly reduce operational costs, enhance energy security, and contribute to a cleaner environment, but will also align with our national goal for energy diversification. Beyond the technology itself, this partnership is about empowerment. By building technical capacity within the Nigerian police force, we will ensure that officers are equipped with the right skills necessary to maintain and operate these systems efficiently and effectively.
The Police Trust Fund says it is committed to seeing this initiative through to its full potential, ensuring that it becomes a lasting solution that benefits the Nigerian police force. And the federal government is also committing 122 billion naira to 6 qualified gas companies as promoters of government gas initiatives through the midstream and downstream gas infrastructure fund. Minister of State Petroleum Resources, Gas, Ikperikpe Ikpo says the initiative is to fuel growth in gas processing, transportation, storage, and distribution infrastructure. Details with Lydia Sampson.
It is the first signing ceremony of the gas infrastructure promoters on the midstream downstream gas infrastructure fund agreement. Key players believe this collaboration is essential towards achieving Nigeria's target of transitioning from a crude oil-dependent economy to one driven by natural gas and its derivatives.
The intentional intention of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to make sure that Nigeria is being driven by gas. And of course, like one of you have said, it is a cleaner way. We need to serve our environment, and that is how and why we need to go this route.
It is expected that the partnership between the public and private sectors, now with the goal of transforming the midstream gas value chain, will reflect President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's efforts and enthusiasm to improve and foster business relationships between the public and private sectors.
Please, we want to urge you to be diligent, to be committed, to show diligence in the execution of these projects.
Mr. President has a vision, and those of us in the Senate are ready to give the government all the support under the leadership of the Senate President, and we've been doing our best.
We will not only deliver, we will deliver safely, we will deliver on time, and we will deliver to ensure that we continue to bring gas to the last mile.
The 6 promoters were carefully chosen in compliance with the Midstream Downstream Gas Infrastructure Fund Investment Policy Statement on the Petroleum Industry Act 2021. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, Nta News.
16 people have been confirmed dead and scores declared missing following a boat mishap that occurred late Tuesday night in Wajibo community in Mokwa local government area of Niger State. A statement by the head of Niger State Emergency Management Agency, NSEMA, Abdullahi Baba Ara, who confirmed the waterway tragedy, indicates that the boat was reportedly conveying more than 300 passengers, who are mostly women and children. The victims are said to be traveling to celebrate Maulud Nebi, as Islamic festival in neighboring community before the tragedy struck. The statement further added that the local drivers and other volunteers have so far rescued about 150 passengers for now. Let's take a look at some economic stories, with global women entrepreneurs being pivotal to economic growth, driving GDP through job creation, innovation, and market expansion. The World Bank Group reports that women-owned businesses account for 30 to 40% of all enterprises worldwide. Details with Alika Panachi Arua on Business News.
In Nigeria, women are primarily engaged in micro and small enterprises. The National Bureau of Statistics indicates that over 70% of women entrepreneurs operate within this sector, thriving in industries such as agro-commodities, textiles, and fashion, food and beverages. To broaden their market reach, Nigerian women are leveraging platforms like the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFTA. This initiative is projected to generate up to $292 billion of the $450 billion in potential income gains for African countries, including Nigeria.
They go through so much trying to portray what we have in Nigeria. You know, like this product, this ginger. Everybody knows Nigerian ginger is the best. But sometimes you go abroad, you find items from Ghana, from other, and then Nigeria. We're such a big country, and people look out for us. You know, they look up to us. So we have to start somewhere.
There is no woman in Nigeria today that is not doing something, that is not packaging something, that is not drying something. In fact, women have brain of bringing Nigeria to a stage of being non-oil dependent.
Women are doing so much because when you talk about the SME in Nigeria, I think about 64% of the SME in Nigeria are women, and we're actually doing something.
While working to give African products a competitive edge, women entrepreneurs are also creating job opportunities and boosting Nigerians' foreign exchange earnings through their ventures. With Business News, Alika Opanachi, Arua.
And there are still ongoing conversations about the CNG conversion and states taking into this initiative, with the cost of transportation in Kogi State set to decrease with the launch of the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative. Through this program, commercial drivers will have their vehicles converted to run on gas at no cost. Jonathan Omajali reports that at the launch in Lokoja, the federal government also provided the state with 10 CNG-powered vehicles.
Kogi State joins the growing number of states benefiting from the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, aimed at reducing transportation costs and providing a more affordable and efficient transport system following the removal of the fuel subsidy. As part of the initiative, 10 CNG buses were donated to the state.
I commissioned this to the glory of God and to the benefit of mankind.
It's here to ensure that prices of goods and services are reduced by 40%.
Most of the passenger cannot travel again because of high cost of transportation. But with the ideas we are getting from the CNG, I think it will reduce the expensive and it will encourage passengers to travel.
The launch of the CNG conversion initiative, with a provision for all commercial vehicles to be eligible for free conversion, signals the long-awaited implementation of the program in the state. The state governor, represented by his deputy at the launch of the program, stated that the initiative will positively impact the cost of living in the state.
Profound gratitude to Mr. President for this people-oriented initiative and for making Kogi State one of the beneficiaries.
The opportunities to improve lives, the opportunities to benefit from cleaner, cheaper, safer, and more reliable.
The presidential CNG initiative also supports Nigeria's push for a cleaner energy, encouraging citizens to drive cleaner, drive smarter, and drive better. In Lokoja, Jonathan Omajali, Nta News.
We have more reports for you right after this break. Don't go away.
From the creeks of the Niger Delta to the breathtaking scenery of the plateau, in noonday and nighttime, we set out to bring to you captivating stories that evoke your emotions. 4 fascinating documentaries and reports on day-to-day issues with expert analysis, Tune in to NTA News24, DSTV Channel 419, GoTV Channel 26, StarTimes Channel 101 and 433, and Free TV Channel 703.
The Defense Headquarters says Abbas Haruna of the Nigerian Navy has been dismissed after investigation by the court-martial that found him guilty of misconduct during a military parade. Addressing journalists in Abuja, the Director Defense Media, Brigadier General Tukuru Gusau, highlights that the court-martial was held between 20th December 2022 and 7th February 2023, where ex-seaman Abbas Haruna pleaded guilty to all the charges.
Continuously interrupted the address, which warranted the commanding officer to direct him to report to the guard room. However, the rating refused to obey the order. Thus, the commanding officer directed his arrest, but the ex-rating resisted and expanded 16 rounds of ammunition belonging to the Nigerian Navy, with the aim of preventing other soldiers from taking him into custody. The trial of ex-seaman Abbas Haruna by the General Court-Martial was based on the authority that, as serving personnel, he was subject to military laws.
Brigadier General Gusau also notes that, contrary to some media reports, the ex-seaman was tried and accorded a fair hearing, stressing that the ABBS Haruna did not challenge the outcome of the court-martial. Away from that, federal government is allocating resources to achieving self-sufficiency in wheat production in Nigeria. This initiative coincides with Nigeria hosting the West and Central Africa Summit on Wheat Production in Abuja. Musa Babali reports.
Countries across West and Central Africa have traditionally depended on wheat imports to meet the demands for one of the world's most important crops. Reports indicate that African continent spent $20 billion annually on wheat imports, with Nigeria alone importing 6 million metric tons valued around $3 billion each year. Nevertheless, agricultural researchers believe that the continent has the capacity to achieve self-sufficiency in wheat production, reducing its reliance on imports.
Production of wheat is becoming very profitable because of the new varieties that have been released to farmers, very high yielding, very responsive to the agronomic packages that were developed by my institute, Lecture Research Institute.
We have the ecology necessary to grow the wheat in our country. So Burkina Faso, you say, is a Sahelian zone, but we grow wheat.
This is our first interaction with this network.
This belief has spurred a gathering of researchers and key stakeholders in wheat production value chain from West and Central Africa to discuss strategies for enhancing wheat production in the regions.
Wheat is not just a staple. It is a vital component in economies, cultures, and nutrition. As we convene today, we recognize the urgency of our mission, the impact of climate change, shifting agricultural practices, and the global demand for food necessitate that we innovate and adapt.
There's not much we can do in transforming the wheat sector if we don't invest in science, technology, and innovation. If we need a game-changing scheme, we must invest.
The summit's focal point is prioritizing policy, innovative technologies, and investment in wheat transformation towards sustainable food security and economy in West and Central Africa. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Kogi State Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo has reaffirmed his administration's unwavering commitment to sustain ongoing clearance operation to defeat criminals in all parts of the state. The governor gave the assurance at the commencement of the distribution of a second batch of 100 operational vehicles to security agencies at the government house in Lokoja on Wednesday. The Kogi State governor assured that the state government will deepen its fight against insecurity and criminality in the state.
That Kogi State will not be a place where criminals can operate. For weeks now, we have sustained an unblinking offensive against fleeing bandits and terrorists, and we shall not rest until they are completely rooted out of our dear state.
We are going to sustain the onslaught, the fight against criminals and criminality in the state. We cannot thank you enough.
And while briefing the newsmen in the state, the Commissioner for Information and Communication, Kingsley Fanwo, stated that the state government at its Executive Council meeting resolved to take drastic measures against criminal elements to preserve law and order and guarantee the security of the people of the state, adding that nothing will be spared to protect the lives and property of the people of Kogi State. As part of efforts to enhance access to information in custody of public and private entities in Nigeria, the Freedom of Information Act was enacted in 2011, but this has not been fully adhered to by some government agencies in the release of documents to media practitioners. The International Press Center brought up this issue at the interactive session with the Federal Ministry of Justice, with the aim of ensuring that government agencies and the media understand their complementary roles in governance.
Absolute, but they have to be taken into consideration before government information can be released. And we have tried as much as possible to get public institutions to abide by the provisions of the Act.
The Permanent Secretary was kind to receive us, and she also explained some of the constraints and challenges that public officials face that maybe members of the public may not be aware of. And we said that that also reinforces the need for us to have this kind of cooperation.
There's a need to have an accessibility or accessible format of that information. FOI is an important document to the community of persons with disability.
With special mention of the challenges faced by persons with disability in accessing critical public information for their use, the Justice Ministry pledged to use its role as pathfinder in helping people with disabilities to gain access to relevant information concerning government activities. The Sultan of Sokoto and President General Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs Mohammed Saad Abubakar has declared Friday, 4th October 2024 as the first day of Rabiu Asani, 1446 after Hijrah. This is contained in a statement signed by the Chairman Advisory Committee on Religious Affairs of the Sultanate Council Sokoto, Professor Sambo Wali Junaidu. A statement says the Sultanate Council Advisory Council Committee on Religious Affairs did not receive any report from various moon-setting communities across the country, confirming the sighting of the crescent of Rabiu Asani 1446 after Hijrah on Wednesday, 2nd October, equivalent to the 29th of Rabiu Awal 1446 after Hijrah. Therefore, Thursday, 3rd of October will be 30th Rabiu Awal 1446 after Hijrah, and the Sultan has therefore accepted the report and accordingly declared Friday, 4th October as first day of Rabiu Asani 1446. Now to health matters. A new study known as Enable 1.5 is bringing insight into the ever-evolving world of Lassa fever, driven by the Nigerian Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, and backed by the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations. This research digs into the mutilation and epidemiology of the deadly virus, aiming to edge closer to a licensed vaccine for the country. Let's get details of this from Oluseye Adiagbo.
Lassa fever, an acute viral hemorrhagic illness caused by Lassa virus, is confirmed to be endemic in 8 West African countries, Nigeria inclusive.
Enable 1.5 project open.
Developing a safe and effective Lassa vaccine across 15 West African countries to save more than 3,000 lives over 10 years and avert up to $128 million in societal cost is the goal of these experts.
We're riding on the results of 1.0 and also the gaps that we identified in 1.0. We have children under 2 that will be involved, and then we have the co-infection with malaria that will also be checked. And then we also have the sensorineural hearing loss.
This has given us the real picture of which strain that is circulating in Nigeria, the strain that is circulating in Sierra Leone, and also in Liberia. Though these strains are even related, and this has enabled us to see that there is that possibility of having a candidate vaccine that will be potent enough to mop all these various strains when that vaccine is being produced.
Getting a vaccine for handling Lassa fever means that the Lassa fever burden will be drastically reduced.
The Coalition for Endemic Preparedness Innovation, CEPI, one of the Lassa fever research leading funders, had assembled 23,000 participants across West Africa since 2019, and this latest study tagged Enable 1.5 is to deepen understanding of Lassa fever transmission, epidemiology, as well as impacts in Nigeria and across West Africa.
So CEPI, as part of its mission, decided to invest in this neglected disease, really to support the people in West Africa to fight this threat. To date, we have invested more than $250 million in the development of a Lassa fever vaccine through all the different activities.
But on top of that, build the necessary capacities within the countries and within our partners in Nigeria and other countries in order to be able to really prepare for the great work that lies ahead, which is to have clinical trials at a large scale that allow us to identify just how effective a new vaccine will be, with the ambition of having that vaccine ready by 2030 here in Nigeria.
Partners of the cause, including Nigeria Health Watch, share optimism of expertise and smooth runs of the project. In Abuja, Oluseye Adiagbo, Nta News.
And that's the news. Many thanks for watching. I'm Comfort Amodu.